We know that, of course, if we compare to a century ago, a lot has been done. But still, and in many places of the world, women really still live in very unequal conditions. So, what are we focusing on to really be able to fulfill our mandate, that is gender equality and women's empowerment? We think that it's important that women are visible, they have a presence, their voices are heard. So that's why political participation and leadership is one of our essential tasks. The second is women in the economic area, because we believe that it's good on one hand for the women because they have an income, they can raise their families in good conditions, but also the economy benefits from women's participation. So women in the economy, empowering women. And empowering doesn't mean only that women have a job. It means that also they have all the opportunities that the economy provides. And lastly, if I may say, as big issues, because of course we deal with all issues that are linked to women's rights, is women and violence. And we want to continue working, and I hope someday in the world we are able to eliminate violence against women. And of course, violence in all the world, and that includes conflict and post-conflict countries, like the Peace and Security Agenda, Security Council Resolution 1325, but not only that, in the whole world. And we also speak on the big range of issues we consider by violence against women. Of course, violence itself, domestic violence, rape, but also, early child marriage, early forced marriage, early forced pregnancy, human trafficking. We can speak also of honor crimes, etc., etc. So there is a huge amount of issues where we have to continue working, not alone with our partners, and our partners are governments, of course, the rest of the UN system, the private sector, civil society, and of course, women's organizations. So I would say we need what UN Women does. On one hand, work with governments to create the awareness that there cannot be such a thing as a neutral policies. If you have neutral policies without a gender perspective, probably women will, because of the obstacles they have, will never get to be beneficiaries of these policies. So you need to have policies with gender responsive policies. You need to have gender responsive budgets, because that's what makes real what you want to do. And also you need to work with companies. One part of our important part of our activity in terms of campaigning, in terms of supporting civil society, and particularly in violence against women, is working to, I would say, encourage male leaders, different kind of male leaders, from presidents, prime minister, but also sport leaders, and that was before the Olympics, of course, but I mean, actors, singers, that really can, if I would say, convey a clear message that violence against women is unacceptable, but also that it's not a man thing to beat a woman. So we believe that men are essential. But I also believe, as a pediatrician, if I may say, that we need to start from the crib, if I may say. I mean, when parents take their children, little boys and little girls, and sit them in the lab, they need to teach them from the beginning the respect for girls and boys, and that little boy should receive all the love and care the same as the little girl, but also the respect and the values that can, I would say, help to advance that men and women's rights are essential in our world. I think women can contribute to improve the quality of politics. So on the contrary, we need more women there. It won't be easy, but women have learned in all of our history that if we give up, nobody will give us anything. So we need to be very resilient, persistent, and if you are convinced, and any woman who is here and is convinced that she can make a difference, she should try to be involved in whatever political activity she wants to be involved. And of course, UN Women is trying to support women all over the world in terms of their developing their leadership capacities and skills, and so on. But I truly believe that women can make a difference, not only in terms of substance, I think on substance is important, but also in terms of uh, the styles, the kind of leadership that will be a very important, I would say, contribution to the world. Because when you see a lot of process around the world, you see that young people are not involved in politics. They're very critical of politics because they don't like the way politics is going on. So I believe that having more women in political participation and leadership will also be a very good answer to this sort of reliability crisis that we see in the political institutions. Women can make a difference in politics. I mean, in Rwanda, we also have had, I believe, the highest political level commitment with increase not only having more women in as parliamentarians, but also putting a lot of women in very important positions. And I think in my own experience, that's very important. If I hadn't been Minister of Defense, I can tell you I would have never been President of the Republic. You have to have women with the possibility of being in positions where they are seen as people who can make it, who can do it, who are capable, etc. It's a tragedy because with men sometimes you don't need to do that. I mean, everybody supposes that men can't do it, but unfortunately, in some cultures, we still need to demonstrate that women are capable. So it's important also that governments, including prime minister and presidents, are aware of this and put women in high position. And I think Africa, it's a good example. So its substance, it's important for women. But also it's important, as I say, because it's more democratic. In a country where political institutions are better represented by men and women, I think it's a stronger democracy and it's a fairer world for all. Women are not the solution to everything. And I'm not saying either that only women would improve the world, but to improve it really without the women, it will be something that I think will fail if we don't do it correctly.
Thank you.